Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well out there. We are back, we are live. Good afternoon, I'm used to saying good morning on these things. But good afternoon, hope everyone's doing well. We're back with another live stream. We're back after our summer break, had a nice little time. I've been jaunting around Europe a little bit. But now it's time to talk about a new set. We're back with Edge of Eternities. Firstly, big thanks to... We've got a nice little package. Big thanks to Wizards Magic EU. So full disclosure, this is... I was sent this. There was no obligation to make content on it or anything like that. But full disclosure, this has been provided by Wizards. I mean, the set isn't out for another 4 days or so. So that should be a clue that that this has been provided by Wizards. But yeah, thank you very much to Wizards, to all the people at Wizards UK, and to yours truly for this nice little package. By little, I mean beefy package. We're going to be going through and opening some packs from the new set. It looks fun. I've had a little break from Magic. Unironically, Final Fantasy might be one of my favourite sets of the last couple of years because it's let me had a break. But none of that. Let's get in with the lovely packing material, and we'll show you what we got. So, first off, we have the Counter-Intelligence Edge of Eternities Commander deck. That's very hot. I might see if James wants that, actually. So, quick update on the channel while I'm giving you a spoiler of what's about to come. So, we have some booster packs. We have a collector booster. We have some play booster packs. We'll be going through these in a moment. Good afternoon, Daniel. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you yesterday. Right. So yeah, we basically have a bunch of packs. This is also going to be the jankiest setup that I've done for one of these streams in a while. This is my monitor. I did try cleaning it. My phone is currently attached to a tripod between my legs. Everything is fine. If anyone I know calls me, I'm going to be angry because it might ruin things. But we have some nice things. Let's have a look at the bag. We have a nice little badge. Little pin. I'm going to give that to the wife, I think. Nice little set symbol there. There we go. That's very hot, very nice. We have, whatever this is, Art Ben Greatinism? Greatiness? Oh no, let's have a look. See what we have. What is this? Oh wow, hold on. Is this what I think it is? Certificate NWA Chondrite Meteorite. Can you see that? Location, Northwest Africa, Sahara Desert. Age... Hold on, they've sent us a bit of meteorite. This is an unclassified NWA meteorite. Fell to Earth approximately less than 10,000 years ago. Hold on, that's... I was not expecting... Alright, okay, it's in the box. Alright. Ooh! That is extremely cool. Hold on. Yeah. They've sent us a bit of meteorite. Well done, Wizards Marketing. That is incredibly cool. Wow! Okay, that's not what I was expecting this stream to start with, but is it like this? I'm assuming it's something like that. Wow! Cool! That is, unironically, one of the coolest things I think I've ever received in the mail. I am a bit of a science geek, or a bit of a science nut. Yeah. Wow, I now have something from space. That is cool. All right, awesome. Well, that took an unexpected turn. We also have a little poster. Let's see what this is. We'll see if we can fit it as well. Again, I'm filming towards my desk, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully this doesn't... Ooh! Oh, it's the Big Bad Tears. Oh, this is cool. It's a high-quality print Edge of Eternities poster. I am really looking forward to Edge of Eternities. I think so. We've already recorded our Cube set review. Me and James. That goes live on the weekend. Basically, once I finish editing it, that will go live then. Yeah, set looks really fun. There's a lot for Command, a lot for Limited. There's some cool stuff for Cube, but... And maybe we'll talk about some of them today. Because in the meantime, we have these booster packs to go through, and then because of algorithmic goodness, we'll save the 2 collector boosters for the end. But yeah, let's jump in. Alright, need to... You can't think about having to lean over a tripod. Everything's fine. Alright. Some good ASMR sounds for you all. Right. Alright. So for the first couple, we'll kind of go through the whole packs. Then, on the later ones, we'll kind of burn through to the rares. But where are we? Alright. Starting off with Sammy's Curiosity. Single green sorcery, you gain 2 life, create a lander token. Pretty solid. I do like lander tokens. I think they're cool. They are really upping the amount of things that make artifacts nowadays. Like, everything comes with an artifact attached to it. But I do quite like this. So, if you haven't seen one before, a land token is an artifact with pay 2 mana, tap and sacrifice this token, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle. So it's a nice little rampant growth of basic lands. I think they're pretty cool. I think it's a nice way of doing it. And like, it's not like green needed more ramp, but like seeing lander tokens in other colours, like in red, would be quite hot. I'll be up for that. Right, we have Squire's Light Blade, single white artifact equipment, flash. When it enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains first right land turn. Equip creature gets with 1+0 and equip 3. So there's definitely like an artifact theme in this set, and having a combat trick. Effectively, this is a combat trick the first time it comes in. Pretty good. The auto equip is nice. Going to be fine and limited. Depressurize. This is cool. I saw this one on the spoilers and like flavorfully fantastic. 1 black instant. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn. Then if that creature's power is 0 or less, destroy it. So effectively, this is kind of like on par with like the -2/-2 removal you see in a lot of sets. But this is, in theory, it's a cheap black instant that kills small creatures. There's one of these in every set. This is this version, but like flavor-wise, Depressurize is very on brand. We love that. We have Ilvoy Galeblade, a single blue 1/1 creature jellyfish warrior. I need to find out where there we go. That's the middle. Flash flying, pay 2 and sacrifice this creature, draw a card. That's quite a lot for a 1-mana creature. It's sort of a clue. Alright, Cav Landseeker. I'm glad to see Carvus are back in this set. I do love a Carvu. I did an Odyssey block cube at the last Cube Clash London, which was a lot of fun, and then reignited my love of Carvus, and they're back, and they're bad. And we've got our first legendary Carvu in this set, actually, which is hot. Maybe we'll see if we open him. It's this Carv Landseeker, though, is 3 and a red for a 4/3 creature Carvu Soldier with Menache, and when this creature enters, create a lander token. At the beginning of the next step on your next turn, sacrifice that token. Okay, so you have to use it on the next turn. But that's fine, though. Like, a 4-mana 4/3 with upside in red is going to be fine. We love that. Radiant Strike is back, I want to say. Is this a reprint? 3 and a white, destroy target artifact or tapped creature, you gain 3 life. That seems like something I've seen before with Gideon art. Red Tiger Mechan, 3 and a red, 3/3, artifact creature, robot cat. Haste and Warp for 1 and a red. I think Warp's pretty solid. It'll work pretty similar to Evoke a lot of the time. This seems like a perfectly solid aggressive red creature. And actually, Warp with haste is quite fun. That is the one thing with Warp that I'm not the biggest fan of. I mean, it comes in, you can still use it that turn, but they don't but if they don't have haste, they can't attack. This one, I mean, with this one, I was going to say it's Ragavan-esque, but I need to calm myself. Sunstar Lightsmith next, 3 and a white, 3/3 Human Artificer. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a plus 1 counter on this creature and draw a card. Pretty solid. That definitely kind of going. The second spell a turn thing is definitely a new design space they are going with. Corey Steelcutter lives on. Monoist Circuit Feeder next, 4 black, 4/4 artifact creature Nautilus. Flying when it enters until end of turn. Target creature you control gets +X+0 until end of turn. And target creature and opponent controls get -0, -X and then that's the number of artifacts you control. Yeah, so this is definitely we've seen the lander tokens, we've seen combat tricks that are artifacts. Definitely an equipment matters set. Looks a lot of fun. This one seems solid. 6 mana 4/4 flyer is fine. that is generally going to be a removal spell. At least it's giving something, like, it is an artifact, so it's at least giving something minus O minus X. Pretty good. Kind of on-rate flyer. Ooh, Seed Ship Impact. Destroy target artifact or enchantment if its mana value was 2 or less. Create a lander token, and it's 1 and a red. So I think, spoilers for our cube set review, we're quite high on this one, especially in higher power level cubes. There's always a room for a disenchant, and this is just a disenchant with upside. So we love that. Ooh! Okay, straight in with a mythic. We love that. Sothera the Super Void, 2 black, legendary enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. At the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creature, sacrifice Sothera, then put a creature card exiled with onto the battlefield under your control with 2 additional +1 on counters on it. This is rad. This is, like, from the space set, I wanted to see a black hole, and I think this does it pretty well. Sweet. Okay, first pack, we got a mythic. Oh, these are play boosters, aren't they? So we could have multiple rares. But this is cool. Coming to to anyone from my play group watching, coming into a commander deck soon. Ooh, and Pain for All. Okay, I love that. 2 and a red, enchantment aura. Enchant creatures you control. When this aura enters, enchanted creature deals damage equal to its power to any other target. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, it does that much damage to each opponent. Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's a sort of a punch. It's sort of a punch when it comes in. Obviously, with auras, you do need it to stick around. Or the creature it's being attached to stick around to do anything. Always the downside with auras. But it's a punch, and then, yeah, you can turn it like Stuffy Doll type effect. Seem quite fun with that. I do need to build a deck that takes advantage of that. But yeah, Pain for All seems like a fun one. And then, ooh, we have a foil. Another Red Tiger McCann. We have a Swamp artwork. Very nice. And then we have, ooh, okay, a lander token. I only saw this for the first time midway through the set review, and what is that? Is it a fish? Or is it like a bunch of land? Either way, I like the idea of the token. Ooh, and we have a robot. Looks very insectoid, but very cool. Alright. So we do have a bunch of booster packs. We will not dwell too much on all the commons and uncommons. I know we're here for the goodness. If we haven't seen one before, then we'll read it out, or we'll at least give it a bit more of a shout. But Fungal Colossus, 7 mana, 5/5. Costs excess to cast, where X number of differently named lands you control. That's weird. I didn't think that Domain was in this set, but effectively this is sort of Domain. Domain adjacent. Interesting. Banishing Light, always good to see it back. Very solid white removal spell. Take it in your draft, kids. Gravpack Monoist. That's a fun name. 2 and a black, 2/1, flyer. When it dies, create a tap 2/2 colors robot artifact each token. Okay, cool. So maybe this is leading us to believe that there might be some like aristocraty, sacrificey type stuff in the cube. Or there is a void as a mechanic, which cares about things leaving the battlefield. This is great in those kind of decks because it's 2 bodies to throw into the meat grinder. Ilvoy Light Jammer, 1 and a blue, flash equipment. When it enters, attached to target creature you control. That creature gains hexproof until a turn. A creature gets +1/+2. So again, this is like the common blue protection spell that you see in most sets, but because this set cares about equipment, or no, cares about artifacts, sorry, it's on an equipment, so that's pretty good. Ooh, Nebula Dragon. The art on that is sick. Can we get a bit closer? That's very cool. That'd be lovely as a playmat. 6 and a red, flyer, 4/4. When it enters, it does 3 damage to any target. Okay, perfectly solid. It's quite expensive. I'm guessing this set's going to be a little slow. We haven't seen any stations yet, but those aren't the fastest cards to get off. So I'm expecting this to be a bit of a slow format. Intrepid Tenderfoot, 2 mana, 2/2, Insect Citizen, 3 generic, put a +1 counter on this creature, activate a sorcery. So there's a bunch of insects in this set, which I'm kind of here for, because I was midway... I did just order a bunch of cards for my updated... what's the melee insect called? I really should know this. Grist. But then they just printed a bunch of cool ones in this set, so we're going to have to keep through. This one doesn't get into Grist, but there is a bunch in the set that gets in. So we have the green equipment and punch or something like that. Oh, this one doesn't have flash. This is just a Melt Strider's gear. Single green, artifact equipment. When this creature enters, attach it to a target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+1 and has reach and has equip for 5 generic. Very solid. Oops, spoilers. Honoured Knight Captain. We're on to our first uncommon now. 1 and a white. 1/1 creature human advisor knight. 4 white. Sacrifice this creature, search your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. This is fine. Again, we've seen some sacrifice fodder stuff in the set, so this is 2 bodies on 1 card. We love that. And then it sacks itself, which will be good for triggering Void. That's a bit expensive. You're only really going to be doing that if you get a dumb bit of equipment. Like, it does put it straight into play, but like we're not super fussed by like getting like this. We want something big. So let's see if we open anything big as we go through the set. Ooh, full bore. Marvellous. Single red, instant. Target creature you control gets +3/+2 until end of turn. If that creature was cast for its warp cost, it also gains trample and haste until end of turn. So they did just ban something like this in standard, didn't they? That does something. Is it Monstrous Rage? So maybe because they knew this was coming, Monstrous Rage does give a permanent buff, doesn't it? So this effectively keeps that deck ticking over. If they knew this was coming, maybe they didn't want it to have 2 versions of a giant growth adjacent effect. But full bore, solid card. Ooh, we have our first legendary. Alfriel, Dreaming Acolyte. 1 and a Dimir for a 2/3 legendary creature human cleric. When it enters, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card. During your turn, Alfriel has Death Touch. This is cool. I do like looters. Again, probably 1 for just set draft and maybe Peasant Cube. Maybe this is fine. Just Dimir is there's so many good Dimir cards. Ooh, hello. Emudian. Again, you didn't come here for good pronunciation of cards. You came here for my glowing personality, obviously. Thank you all for being here. Love you all. Emudian Terrabotanist, 1 and a green, 2/3 landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you gain 1 life. That's pretty solid. Like, so the insects in this set are definitely going more landfall-y. The previous insects have been a bit more kind of like creatures in graveyards matters. Like I'm thinking both the Grists. I'm thinking there's a big Golgari lass who makes a bunch of insects equal to the number of stuff in your graveyard. That's where kind of insects have been up until this, whereas insects are now going a bit landfall-y. So I'll have to look at my Grist deck and see where it goes. Ooh, okay. Lightstall Inquisitor. Single white, 2/1, creature, angel, wizard with vigilance. When it enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand and may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Each spell cast this way costs 1 to make more to cast. Each land played this way enters tapped. You're playing this because it's a Savannah line with upside. We go over it more in the set review, but solid card. Yeah, it's a Savannah line with vigilance and a upside that won't come up that often. I think it's quite strong if your opponent mulligans, basically. They're being greedy. Ooh, alright, we have our first station. Or our first spacecraft with station. So this is Pinnacle Kill Ship. It is 7 generic mana for a artifact spacecraft. It is when it enters, it deals 10 damage to up to 1 target creature. So effectively this is a 7 mana removal spell. That, I think, is a good indication of the speed of the format if they're expecting us to cast this kind of stuff. It has Station, which I'll read for the first time, of tap another creature you control, put charge counters equal to its power on this spacecraft. Station only is a sorcery. It's an artifact creature at 7+, so effectively it's like Super Crew, but you can only do it as sorcery speed. When it has 7 or more counters on it, it becomes a 7/7 flyer. I think in Limited and Commander, this is fine. Again, it's definitely showing us that it's going to be a slower set. If they're expecting us to do any of this in Limited, then it has to be slow. There can't be an aggro deck, and you would assume they would have tested for that. For Cube, I will save my opinions for the set review coming out end of the week, but it doesn't look promising. That's all I'll say. And we have ooh, that forest is lovely. I have not seen that before. Look at that. That's very nice. And then we have a land. See, that makes more sense as a lander token. That makes more sense to me. More like a 40k drop. In fact, it is just a 40k drop pod. Maybe that's why I like it. And the back is another robot. Marvellous. All right. Let's keep going. Wonderful. All right. That blooming stinger. One and a green. 2/2, Death Touch, Plant, Scorpion. With Death Touch, when this creature enters, another target creature you control gains Death Touch until end turn. I've just realised we should probably doing pack 1, pick 1s. Let's do that with this pack. Let's spice it up a bit. So we have Blooming Stinger. Dock Worker Drone, 1 and a white. This creature enters with a +1 counter on it. It's a 1/1. When it dies, put its counters on target creature you control. We have Hull Carver, single white, 1/1 with Death Touch, and it's an artifact creature, robot, assassin. Again, just artifact density in this set is going to be key, I feel. Cryogen Relic, 1 on a white. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Is this a nut? It's not an egg. Eggs make mana. Is this a nut? Let me know in the chat. One in a green, one in a blue to activate. Sacrifice this artifact. Put a stun counter on up to 1 target tapped creature. That's a little slow, but if you need artifact density, then it'll probably be fine. We have Bombard. This I think we've seen before. 3 mana instant, deals 4 damage to target creature. That's probably the pick so far, because it kills things and I know what it does. Biosynthetic Burst, though. 1 on a green. This is going to be a fight spell, isn't it? Instant. Put a plus counter on target creature you control. It gains reach, trample, and indestructible until end turn. Untap it. Okay, so it's more of a protection spell that you can get someone when they attack with you. That's fine. Radiant Strike again. Void Forge Titan. 4 on a black. Artifact creature, robot warrior with Void. So Void is this mechanic. At the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. That's pretty good. It's pretty big and expensive. I think I'm still on Bombard, but just because I don't like taking a 5 mana thing first. We have Pull Through the Hweft next. 3 green sorcery. Return up to 2 target non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Then return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This seems pretty cool. Again, if this effect is generally letting me believe that this is a slow set. If we're paying 5 mana to recur some stuff. But we have a Kavu, 5 mana, 5/5. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, you may discard your hand if you do draw 2 cards. This seems pretty pushed for Peasant, actually. In terms of a Peasant cube, I could see this being pretty good. Yeah, just a good bit of beef, a good bit of top end. Like Peasant doesn't normally get that kind of like discard rummage on an ETB on a creature that much anymore, or hasn't anyway. Mechan Assembler, 4 and a blue, 4/4 robot artifact. So whenever another artifact you control enters, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. This seems like a very good build around. We've seen so many artifacts already in the packs we've opened. This seems very, very solid. Ooh! Well, we had a question in the chat. Any commanders you're most excited to brew for from this set? Maybe this one. We're not taking it pack 1, pick 1 for limited. I think there was just thunder outside. But we have Infinite Guideline Station, Wooburg. Okay, that was thunder. I don't know if anyone else can hear that. Legendary Artifact, Spacecraft. When it enters, create a tapped 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token for each multicolored permanent you control. It has Station and Flying when you get to 12+. Oh, reading these cards is kind of a bit... When it has 12 or more energy counters on it, or whatever the hell it is, charge counters, it gets Flying, it becomes a 7/15, and when it attacks, draw a card for each multicolored permanent you control. This one seems good. I do like multicolored nonsense. This one... The thing, I'm not sure this one works that well with a bunch of the other stations, though, because they're not multicolored, a lot of them are monocolored. But I do think this one is very cool. And yes, thank you, One Trick, Too Fanny. Much love. Yeah, obviously, this is the first set where vehicles and spacecraft can be your commander. So I was actually looking at doing like a Seeker's Chariot. That one seems quite fun. A bunch of token stuff. I think that was legendary. But yes, this one seems... Yeah, this one seems very cool. This is one that I was kind of looking at. Like, I do like some $5 nonsense. This one seems a lot of fun. Our last card is Scrouge for Eternity. 2 and a black. As initial cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature, and return target creature or spacecraft with mana value 5 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, then create a lander token. So my gut here, we then have an island and a land. Pack 1, pick 1 from this. Having not played the set, I'm going to force Mechan Assembler. This card just seems really good in this set. Like, Because it's whenever another artifact you control enters. It's not cast, it's not placed. So all of the robot tokens we've seen, all of the land tokens, this seems like a pretty solid build around. For limited, I think this is great. 5 mana 4/4 is fine. But that ability, like, if you can make one robot off of this, then I think you're fine and you're happy with that in limited. So, for this pack, we're taking Mechan Assembler. Alright. We've really been going for half an hour already. Marvellous. Alright, we'll do one more pack, one pick one, and then we'll just open some rares. How does that sound? Yes, I do agree. If the robots were all colours, it would be a bit more busted. But we can do some cool stuff with this. There's definitely some like weird spacey jank I think we can do. Should be a lot of fun. Alright. The new pack. We have auxiliary boosters, 4 and a colour, 4 and a white. Artifact equipment. When it enters, create a 2/2 colourless robot artifact creature token and attach this equipment to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has flying and has equip 3. So, 5 mana, 3/4 flyer. But it's two artifacts. That's fine. Swarm colour, 4 mana, 2/4 flyer. When this creature becomes tapped, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, draw a card. Cool, so this is giving us a thing to use our artifacts for. We like that. Star Breach Whale, 5 mana, 3/5 flyer. When it enters, surveil 2 and has warp 1 and a blue. This is fine. This is kind of like this is what I was talking about warp effectively being a bit like a Vote. This is like a bad Mole Drifter. I love surveil, but it's not draw cards. Ooh. Is this our first Pangolin? 1 and a white, 1 and a red, 2/2 artifact creature, robot Pangolin. Its name is Orpate Pangolin. Whenever another artifact control enters, you may pay 1 generic. If you do, put a counter on this creature. That doesn't say once each turn. That could get quite big. That seems pretty... I think I'm on board with this one. That seems pretty good. We next have Ice Cave Crasher. 4 mana, 4/4 creature beast with trample. Whenever land you control enters, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. That's pretty solid for a common. Is anyone else noticing that the mana value of stuff we've opened is quite high? Like 2, 5, 5, 4, 4. Again, leading me to believe this is going to be a slower set. Drix Fate Maker, 3 and a green for a 3/2 Drix Wizard. Okay, that's hot. Whenever this creature enters, put a counter on a target creature. Each creature you control with a +1 counter on it has trample, and it has warp for 1 and a green. That's pretty cool. Warp does seem like yeah, it's a way of double dipping with your mana as well. This is fine late game. You can put 2 counters on 2 things because you can warp on turn 6. You could warp something. You could warp it in, then cast it as well. Oh no! Oh, later turn. Okay, so it's like the one from Kaldheim. Is it Kaldheim? Yeah. No, it's the one for it's plot. It's like plot. You have to do. Okay, so you can't double dip this in 1 turn. That is less good, but still seem pretty solid. We have played this effect before, and it actually comes with the ability to put a counter on something now, which we like. Temporal Invention, 3 mana, sorcery, void. The spell costs 2 less to cast if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn. And target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards a card. In like bread and butter magic, these are pretty solid, but just discard 1 card for potentially 3 mana. I'm not on board with that. Remnant Elemental, 2 mana, 0/4 reach, landfall. Whenever land you control enters, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So the landfall aggro decks, I always like the sound of, but they just in 2 Zendikars in a row they have burnt me because you just don't have enough. You are going to stop making your land drops at some point. I guess lander tokens will help that actually. If they build that into the set, lander tokens with landfall stuff does seem quite hot. I haven't seen an evolving wilds yet. But I guess we'll see. We have Gigastorm Titan. It is 5 mana for a 4/4 creature elemental. This spell costs 3 generic less to cast if you cast another spell this turn. Okay, that's fine. Again, it's quite expensive, but you are, again, we're seeing them wanting you to cast 2 spells in a turn. This seems pretty good. Again, you just need to take cheap spells, I think, in this set, because everything has been 5 mana. I think I saw something there. What could it have been? Pulsar Squadron Ace, 1 and a white for a 1/2 creature human pilot. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a spacecraft card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If you didn't, put a card into You hand this way, put a +1 counter on this creature. Cool, okay. So this is effectively just going to be a 2-mana 2/3. And I'm kind of fine with that. It's a 2-mana 2/3 with potential upside. That seems fine. An on-rate creature we like. Ooh. Okay, we have Bonder's Enclave. This is the fancy treatment from this set. Glad that we can get them in regular play boosters. It is a land that taps to add a generic. Pay 3 and tap it. Draw a card. Activate if you only control a creature with power 4 or greater. So that's fine. Was hoping for Strip Mine, but we'll take it. That seems pretty solid. Ooh! We have another mythic. This is lovely. Sunsar Secundi, Void Altar, is a land planet. So our first time seeing that as a type. It enters tapped. It taps to add a black. And it has station for 12+. That's so much. 1 black, tap, pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power, activate only as a sorcery. So I do actually quite like that. For Commander, and again, if limited is as slow as we think it's going to be from the cards we've seen. I mean, it's kind of great in my Yargle and Multani deck. I love drawing... Is that 17 or 18? I love drawing 18 cards. And you can tap it straight. Ooh, maybe Yargle and Multani breaks spaceships wide open, actually. This is a cool card. Again, definitely one for Commander and Limited. I think we will get there in Limited just because from everything I'm seeing this pack had 1 2-drop in it. Or 2 2-drops, actually. That seems wild to me. Ooh, we have a removal spell. Grav Kill. 3 and a black. Instant. Exile target creature or spacecraft. I don't want to say are we taking that. We have a Plains and a Lander token that's also the robot. What are we taking from this pack? Honestly, Grav Kill is quite hot. I don't know how good... So the obvious one is just take the Mythic. This one, Pulsar Squadron Ace, could just be great because it is cheap. Everything is so expensive in this set. Like, 2 mana, 4 mana, 3, 2, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 2, 5. Land. Or land and land we need to tap 12 power to do anything with. Grab Kill's obvious. I like the Pangolin, to be honest with you, but... So I reckon this one could be quite solid, but I think... we're rare drafting. Screw it, we're taking the Mythic. If games go long, which they are looking like they will, this seems like a great way of giving you some late game beef to get you through a game. So that seems pretty cool. Alright. This one, let's just go straight to the rare. We'll do a pack 1 pick 1 afterwards, but I kind of want to get through some boosters. I also want a swig of tea. I'm not actually on a time constraint today. Normally when I do these live streams, it's before I start work. But now we're doing it after I've done work. So we've made that cheddar. Let's talk about some cards. So we'll go through these. We have Bombard, Sky Stinger, Exosuit Savior, Embrace Oblivion, Mental Modulation. Well, this is cool, actually. I like this one. Sorry, I'm going to read this one because I do actually quite like it. 1 in the blue, instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you cast it during your turn. Tap artifact or creature, draw a card. That seems really good. Like that with like this, I think is going to be a pretty good like deck in this limited format. Plasma Bolt, 2 mana shock. That's a sorcery. But with the Void mechanic, it deals 3. I think that's probably the pick right now. Although Chrome Companion is bloody adorable. Look at that good pupper. Elvoy Infiltrator. Seems pretty good. Tapestry Warden. I'll read this one because I think this is very much a build around. 4 mana, 3/4 artifact creature, robot soldier. Vigilance. Each creature you control with toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. And each creature you control with toughness greater than its power stations permanents using its toughness rather than its power. So it's a form of like butt breathing. This is how you get to like this, basically, and I think that's fine. I'm not sure if we're taking it. On a Knight Captain, again, seems pretty solid. We're still waiting to see some really busted equipment. System Override, this seems like actually quite... This is a threaten, but it puts 10 charge counters if you steal a spacecraft and you remove them end of turn, so you can really hit some people with this. This one could be quite good, actually. It still might be sideboardy rather than main decky, but I think it looks quite fun. Our rare is Moonlit Meditation. 2 and a blue, enchantment aura, enchant artifact or creature you control. The first time you would create 1 or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of enchanted permanent. Again, coming to a commander deck near you soon. Divert Disaster is our foil. 1 and a blue, instant target. Counter target spell and controller pays 2 generic. If they do, create a lander token. Forest and a lander. What do we take from this? So if this was regular limited, I would just be really hot on Plasma Bolt. I think just taking a cheap shock is always going to be solid. However, if this is a really slow format, 2 damage isn't going to be enough. Embrace Oblivion seems solid. What can we do with this? So there's robot tokens, there's lander tokens. That seems pretty good, just putting this on, like, if you... It's very build-around-y. But, like, where's the... There's the card we had earlier that's loose on my desk now. This one. The first time you would create 1 or more tokens each turn, you may instead create tokens of copies of enchanted... Oh, so if you put this on this, you will make multiple of... That seems like a nice little combo, actually. These two. So screw it. We're going to take... Are we going to rare draft again? And hope to open some synergy. No, I think... Again, I do like the look of Boros aggro in this just because everything else is so expensive. That does seem quite hot. I do think Systems Override will play better than it looks, better than a normal Threaten. And if you take this, obviously Sacrifice Outlets go up in value because then it becomes a removal spell, which we love. So yeah, pretty good. Alright, let's just do another pack. We'll see what we get. Alright, Night Luminary... Seems prime. Gravkill again. You're probably the pick so far. Sinister Cryptologist. Nice little cheap combat trick. We like that. 3 mana, 2/3. When it enters, target creature and opponent controls get -3 mana. So until end of turn, it has Warp for a blue. That's solid. Orbital Plunge. Okay, this is our big removal spell. Big common sorcery removal spell. 6 damage. If excess damage was dealt, create a lander token. That's pretty solid. Shattered Wings. I think we've seen before. But a Plummet with Surveil 1 added on top. That seems pretty good. Flight Deck Coordinator. Wormwall Sweeper. Honor. This is a nice little card. Feather the Redeemed players. I'm assuming you love the look of this. All Fate Scroll. Okay, this is our Manolith for the set. Dubious Delicacy. What do you do? 3 mana, artifact, food, flash. When this artifact enters, up to 1 target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Pay 2 and tap. It's a food. Pay 2 and tap. Target opponent loses 3 life. And it's a 3 mana food. That seems really good, actually, in this set. Where there's a lot of things that care about things leaving play and things that care about artifacts. That seems pretty good. We have Cathedral. Ooh, I love Cathedral of War. That is a banger of a card. This land enters tapped and has Exalted, which is whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn and has it taps to add a colorless mana. I love this card. I think this is great. Ooh. And our rare is 0 Point Ballad. X and a black. Sorcery. Destroy your creatures with toughness X or less. You lose X life. If X is 6 or more, return a creature card you put into a graveyard this way to battlefield under your control. That seems really good. Board wipes in limited. Normally pretty solid. And we get something back as well. If the games are going really late, we'll have time for this. Yeah, 0 Point Ballad. Definitely, I think, the pick so far. Star Breach Whale. We like that one. Island, Lander Token. Or Island. Ooh, Lander Token and Human Soldier. Love that. I think 0 Point Ballad is really messed up, actually. Board wipes in limited are always pretty good. But, yeah. Stealing their best thing is also nice. I would be tempted by Cathedral of War. I do like it. It does keep you open. And just, they can't deal with it. There isn't much... I haven't seen any land destruction yet in this set. Probably for a good reason. But... yeah, that seems good. We like that. Alright, we have 3 more regular boosters to get through, and then we have the 2 spice. So, oh no, 4 more. We found another one under the pile of cards. So let's get through these. I do need to cook dinner at some point. Alright. Diplomatic relations. I love it already. That is an orc. That is a 40k orc if I've ever seen one. 2 and a green. Target creature gets 1 of its own. Gains vigilance until the turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. Right, it's a fight spell. Makes sense. Focus fire. Is a nice little... it's a shock in white. Insatiable Skittermore. 3 mana menace. That gets bigger if Void is triggered. That's pretty good, actually. That's actually a nice, cheap creature. Mechazoa is a 6 mana creature. Stun counters on things, that's fine. Melded Moxite. 2 mana. This is our Rummage effect. This is our Faithless Looting. When it enters, you may discard a card if you do draw 2 cards, and it has 3. Sack this artifact, create a tapped 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. That seems fine. Grab Blade Heavy, 4 mana, 3/4. If you have an artifact, it gets performance on Death Touch. It's fine. Bright Spear Zealot, 3 mana, 2/4 Vigilance. It gets +2/+0 as long as you cast 2 more spells this turn. Fine. Invasive Maneuvers, 1 and a red. It gives 3 damage to target creature. It does 5 damage instead if you know a spacecraft. That's hot. That's probably the pick so far. 2 mana, deal 3 instant speed. We like that. That's probably the pick if we're doing pack 1, pick 1 so far. We have Sunisorian Dirgecraft. 5 mana station. When it enters, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. 7 mana, or 7 energy, whatever the bloody hell it is, to crew it. And it becomes a 4/3 flyer. I think this is dreadful. 5 mana edict effect. Your opponent is going to have things on board by the time you cast this. That is dread. I think this is a dreadful card. Hot take. Desculpting Blast. 2 mana bounce. That's pretty hard. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If it was attacking, create a 1/1 colors drone artifact with flying, and this token can only block creatures with flying. This seems pretty good. Nice little solid bounce spell. I don't think it's better than Invasive Maneuvers. Another Tapestry Warden. Seems fine. Our rare is Secluded Starforge. Land, tapped at a generic. 2 untap, tap X, untapped artifacts you control. Target creature gets +X until... Breathe. 2 and tap. Tap X, untapped artifacts you control. Target creature gets +X/O until end of turn. Activate owners of sorcery. Or 5, tap, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. If the format is slow, then this is really good. So I think this is actually going to be really good. Just a mana sink late in the game that will just make you bodies. Yeah, I think that's good. Broodsguard Elite is a foil. Big insect lad. We have a mountain. We have a lander token and the human soldier. So I think it's between these two from this pack. If you were pack 1, pick 1ing. My gut. So as I don't know the set that well, I'm taking Invasive Maneuvers. I know what that does. It's 2 mana to kill a thing. My gut is that this might actually be secretly really, really strong. Because if games are going really late, then I think just the ability to poop out little artifacts and then buff up one of them, I think is really good. The sorcery line is quite bad on this, because you would want to use it as like a... You attack with 4 things, they can only block 3. Or like, you want to be able to get one through, basically, kind of like aristocracy sacrifice, like carrion feeder style stuff. But as it is, I'm taking Invasive Maneuvers, but I'm open to Secluded Starforge being the correct pick. All right, let's get through these. Wow. All right, Starfighter Pilot, Dark Endurance, Nutrient Block. Ew, what the hell is that? It's an indestructible food. Oh, of course it is. 2 mana, tap sack as artifact. It's a food. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. Okay, that's pretty solid. Ooh, is this an egg or is this a nut? Let's go with nut. Alright, Cryo Shatter. Single blue, enchant creature. Enchant creature gets -5/-0. When it becomes tapped or does dealt damage, destroy it. That's cool. Flavorful, also awesome. That's kind of hot. We have another Kavu. Caveron Skywarden. Gets bigger if you warp something, that's fine. We have a Quench. Thormonton Torpedo. Single, generic, 6 and tap. Sacrifices artifact, destroy target non-land permanent. This ability costs 3 less to cast if you attack with a spacecraft this turn. Kind of cool. Ooh, Scout for Survivors I think is a cool card. More for other formats. Actually, I'm building a Companion Lurus deck, which is probably really good in. 2 and a white, sorcery, return up to 3 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Put a count on each of them. I'm going to put that to the side because that's going in a deck immediately. Roving Actuator. 3 in a red, void. When this creature enters, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn, exile to 1 target instant or sorcery card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Okay, if you can get the invasive maneuvers with that, then I think you're very happy. Otherwise, it just seems fine. Blade of the Swarm, 4 mana, 3/1, Insect Assassin. When this creature enters, choose 1. Put 2+1 counters on this creature. Put a target exiled card with warp on the bottom of owner's library. Oh, okay. That ability is nice, but it seems quite sideboardy. I think that means we're not going to be taking it quite highly in this point. Annul is just back. Counter target artifact or enchantment spell. This is probably going to be quite good in this set. There's a lot of artifacts. It does seem sideboardy again. Hello there. Arch Enemy's Charm. Black, black, black. Instant. Choose 1. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Return 1 or 2 target creature or planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand, or put 2+1 counters on target creature you control against lifelink line a turn. This is busted, but 3 black mana is quite a lot. That's a lot of commitment. We have a foil, Station Monitor, an Azorius for a 2/2 Lizard Artificer. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 colorless drone, artifact creature token with flying, and those can only block creatures with flying. Interesting. So what are we taking? Our uncommons aren't great. These, I think, are middling. That was also kind of fine. This doesn't seem like the hottest pack to me. I quite like the look of Cryo Shatter. If I'm honest with you, that seems like a decent bit of removal. This just seems really expensive. And I don't particularly want to be playing Spacecraft, so it doesn't get better. That has potential highest upside. Sideboardy. Definitely the strongest card, but I don't know if this is a monocolored set. I don't think this is. I haven't seen any dual land, so maybe you are meant to be like heavily one color, splash another. This is a tough one. I don't think there's an obvious pick. We'll take Arch Enemy's Charm, I think, just because exile target creature or planeswalker is broken. And I guess with landers, we might get there on triple black. But like, this is not a spell we're casting on turn 3. This is a spell we're casting on like turn 8 or 9. But I think we might get there again because the set seems quite slow. Which is not a bad thing for context. Formats being slow is fine if all the decks are slow. It just means you kind of don't like, just turns 1 to 3 are very quick. It doesn't necessarily mean games will take longer, just they go more turns. I should say it that way. Alright, new pack. Galactic Wayfarer. Weft Blade Enhancer. Beansaw Prospector. When it dies, create a land token. That seems fine. Cloud Sculpt Technician. Seems fine. Rig for War. Target creature gets plus 3/0 and gains first range on the turn. Fine. Thorbringer. 2 and a green. 4/2 when it enters or dies Surveil 1. There's one of those in every set. Zealous Display. Creature control gets 2% on the turn. If it's not your turn, untap those creatures. Again, one of these in every set is fine. Perfectly good way for a white aggro deck to win a game of Magic. 6 Lash Whip Predator. 6 mana, 5/7. It costs 2 less to cast if your opponents control 3 or more creatures with reach. That's fine. Sunstar Expansionist. The artwork on that a little bit weird. That's fine. Looks very photoreal. Well done. Smart Pool. Lovely. 1 and a white, 2/3 creature human knight. When it enters, if an opponent controls more lands than you, create a lander token. And landfall whenever a land you control enters this turn, it gets performance on the turn. This is a 2 mana 2/3 with upside in a format that I think is going to be very slow. So I'm quite high on this card. Weft Strike Ardent. I like saying weft. It's good mouthfeel. 2 and a red, 2/3. Whenever another creature or artifact you control enters, this creature does 1 damage to each opponent with and warp for a red. This seems a very good build around. Lander tokens, robots. Ooh, don't worry about that. This seems really good. I'm high for that. Fell Gravship. 3 mana spacecraft. Whenever this artifact, whenever this enters, mill 3 cards and return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, and then for station 8+, flying lifelink 3/2. This is fine because I would play this effect by itself. For 3 mana, I think that's fine. Cool. Felgrave Ship, decent card. Ooh, Terminal Velocity. Here we go. 6 mana sorcery. You may put an artifact or creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That permanent gains haste. When this permanent leaves the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its mana value to each creature, and also has, at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this permanent. So this is kind of a Through the Breach that's more mana, and then is a board wipe. For limited, I think this is incredibly strong, because again, it's a board wipe out of nowhere. You're getting a bunch of damage. I think that's pretty solid. For Commander, again, probably also fine. Like, there is a mono-red Commander in this set that's also kind of a sneak attack. It's kind of like another version of Perforos. I think that's pretty solid. Terminal Velocity, I think is a cool card in that kind of build, that kind of deck. Yeah, I can see myself. Like, in Limited, I think we're taking this. This seems actually really strong. Oh! Although we have a foily Sothera the Super Void, our second Sothera of the day. Fine, I will get the sleeves. A Plains and a Lander token. So it's obviously between the rare and the mythic. I think the rare is probably better, just because it requires no other input from us. Oh, actually, it does require another card now. So this requires things dying. This requires us to have another thing in hand. Pack one, pick one. I think we can build around them both quite easily. Probably Sothera is actually going to take over the game a bit more, actually, now I think about it. I think they're both fantastic cards. This one's 4 mana, and this one's 6, and 4 is less than 6. We're probably going to get cast it earlier. I don't know. I actually think I like Terminal Velocity more. I don't know if that's right or not, but just having a board wipe in your deck and knowing you have one, I think is really good. So I'm going to take pack one, pick one Velocity, but I will get a sleeve. A little dusty sleeve. For Sothera. Again, if anyone in my play group needs a Sothera, give me a shout. Because I now have 2, apparently. Alright, last pack. We'll do pack one, pick one on this, and then we'll move on to the goodness. Gene Pollinator, single, green, 1/2. Tap and tap an untap permanent you control. Add 1 mana of any colour. That is dreadful. Untap permanent so you can tap the Lander token? What have they done to my boy Llanowar Elves? This is awful. Alright. Starput Security, single white, 1/1. 4 mana, tap another. Tap it and tap another target. 4 mana, tap. Tap another target creature. This ability costs 2 less to activate if you control a creature with a +1 counter on it. I don't like that. Decode Transmissions, 3 mana, you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Void if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn. Instead, you draw 2 cards and each opponent loses 2 life. Solid. Fine. We love that. Sinister Crystallogist again. Fine. Orbital Plunge. The 4 mana big removal spell. Pinnacle Kill Ship. The 7 mana deal 10. Drill 2 Deep. 2 mana. Put 5 charge counters on target spacecraft or planet you control. Destroy target artifact. Yeah, if we are doing vehicles, I think you need to really prioritize these. Or spacecraft, sorry. Yeah, if you can get it... It's the kind of thing I want to do in Limited, but I just don't know how good it is yet. Again, haven't played the set yet. That is, I'm doing pre-release Saturday. Should be a lot of fun. Blade of the Swarm again. Scour for scrap. 4 mana, choose one or both. Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand. Then shuffle or return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. There's going to be a lot of Commander players and probably Canadian Highlanders who are up for that. Glacier Goodmore, 7 mana, 6/6 trample. When it enters, create a Lander token and landfall. Whenever landing control enters, creatures you know get one. Oh, so it's kind of a sort of a hoof, sort of a prime time. Fine. Jewel Sun Adepts, 3 mana, 2/2 double strike. I'm on board with that. Ooh, Ouroboros. 4 mana, 1/3 plant worm. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1 counter on each creature you control, where X is that creature's is this creature's power. So if we get this on 4, we are just winning that game of Magic. Yeah. In Limited, I think that's a slam dunk. I would want ways of buffing up this power. Like, I want to put this in a deck where I have more ways of getting this up quickly, so I can just get it out. Like, if I don't draw this on turn 4, say I draw this on turn, like, 6 or 7... Yes, the doubling effect is very good, but you want ways of buffing up its power early. I still think we're taking it because it seems very busted. We have Radiant Strike, a Mountain, and a Robot token. So I think that's quite an easy avoid, but I do quite like this card, actually. 3 mana, 2/2 double strike in this format, that will kill people. That just seems really good. And then if it does go late, you can activate there. I think that's pretty good. If we... I think this card is also good, but I don't want to take it early. This is the card that I want after I've already got like 3 or 4 things that make lander tokens. Alright. Swig of tea. Everyone prepare yourselves for the collector booster. Anything could be in this. Even a boat. So, maybe. Who knows. Alright, let's ASMR this. These are harder to open than regular booster packs. Hold on, we have... Alright, we're going to cheat a little bit. These are cat claw trimmers. Alright. Alright. Wormwall Sweeper is our first card. We have Comet Crawler. Actually, the first time seeing this. Nice little insect horror. That does actually look quite cool in foil. Just come a bit closer. Comet Crawler. Ilvoy Light Jammer. Auxiliary Boosters. Drill Too Deep, again, for that Planet Station deck. Scrouge from Eternity. We've seen that one before. Nice little reanimate spell. Seems fine. Edge Rover. Single green 2/2. When this dies, each player can make a lander token. This seems great in this set. I'm very high on this card. I think in limited this is going to be a very strong magic card. Ooh. Interceptor Mechan. Haven't seen you before. 2 in a Rakdos. 2/2 artifact creature robot with flying, and when it enters, return target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And void, at the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, put a counter on it. Okay. Not the quickest, but seems fine. We have Lash Whip Predator. Seen that before, that one's fine. Oh, we have the Foily Altar Forest. Very Avatar. You know what I mean? Alright, ooh. Our first rare is not a rare, it's a mythic. Exalted Sunborn, 5 mana, 4/5 creature angel wizard with flying, lifelink. And if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of the tokens are created instead. And it has warp for 1 and a white. Token doublers are fantastic. Yeah, Exalted Sunborn seems like a very strong card. The art is also lovely. It will be put in the sleeve very shortly. We have Vernal Fen. Ooh, this is the one from the cycle that they're finishing off finally. Land, Swamp Forest. Taps to add a black or a green. This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Full art version, very nice. So I'm pretty sure we've seen the cycle before. They're just finishing them off now. This is the enemy cycle of these cards. Finish them all off. My Golgari decks have dreadful mana bases. We have another Pain for All in full art. Very rad. Ooh! Oh, hell yeah. This is actually one I really wanted. That Strip Mine is lovely. So we have Strip Mine, land, tap, add a generic. Tap and sacrifice this land, destroy target land. That actually looks really pretty. Like, that is, like, peak, like, what, 60s Americana style. I'm just making up words now. I don't know. I think it looks lovely. Yeah, that is sick. That is actually... Ooh. Ooh, we're hot on that one. And then our last... Ooh, what the hell is this? I have not seen this treatment before. Darkness. Instant... single black. Prevent all combat damage. I have not seen this treatment before. That is rad. Again, yeah, we're going to go on for the... I'm going to say the word Americana, even though I don't really know entirely. But, like, it does feel that kind of, like, 60s style... yeah, 60s comic book style. That seems very nice. Okay, let's quickly just sleeve the Strip Mine and the... See, we're sensible on this channel. Sleeve. An Exalted Sunborn. Lovely. Alright. That was a hot pack. Alright. Last one. Again, I'd like to thank you all for being here as we open this last pack. We are back on the content train. We have... Yeah, so the set review for this... the cube set review is out... should be out at the weekend. The main video I've been working on for the past couple of months is in its final stages. It's quite a big one. It's only about 20 minutes long so far, but it is... it's a lot of editing. It's a lot unlike any video I've made before. It's kind of more... Have you ever seen like internet historian videos? Like more kind of that kind of like everything is highly animated. Yeah, should be a lot of fun. So do keep up for that. But yeah, the last pack was very hot. The token doubler, the strip mine. We love that. But yeah, let's move on with our last pack of the day. Again, thank you to Wizards Europe and thank you to all, everyone at yours truly for sending these to us. It's always greatly appreciated. All right, last pack. We have Intrepid Tenderfoot. We have Depressurize. That looks really cool in foil, actually. I think I have a crimped card at the back, actually. Depressurize. We have Mental Modulation. Gene Pollinator. The worst Llanowar Elves. Gravblade Heavy. Terrapact Intimidator. That one's cool. I love a Kavu. Dawnstrike Vanguard. Again, these do look very nice in foil. Larval Scoutlander. What does this one do? When it enters, you may sacrifice a land or lander. When you do so, it should likely be up to 2 basic lands. Okay, it's sort of a Harrow. Okay, cool. Survey Mechan. Seems fine. We have our Swamp, again in full art. There, let's catch the light. Very nice. Alright. For a rare, for our first rare or mythic, we have Afriel Stone Chosen. 3 black, 3/3 legendary creature, human cleric with ward, discard a card at random. That is a nasty ward cost. And Void, whenever it attacks, if a non-land permanent of the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, defending player loses half their life rounded up. What a miserable card. I love it. That seems pretty strong. War discard a card at random is so mean. It is a 5 mana 3/3, so for limited, I'm not super sure on it, because they will just block. But, I mean, they're still taking half their life. Like, if you can ramp this, like, Commander, this seems... I mean, Braids is now legal? Jesus. What are they doing? That seems very strong. Alright, ooh, we have Solar Array. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour. When you next cast an artifact spell this turn, that spell gains Sunburst for 3 generic. That's kind of fun. Sunburst... So this is a commander. Sunburst is a mechanic that cares about the number of colours spent to gone into a spell. Okay. Oh, no. And they get counters on it for each... Oh, weird. Yes, I think Sunburst is... the thing enters with counters on it equal to the amount of colours spent to cast it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Nice little manolith. We have Warmaker Gunship. This is actually a little crimped. Don't know if you can see that. Does that mean it's worth more? Warmaker Gunship, 2 and a red, 4/3 artifact spacecraft. When it enters, it deals damage equal to the number of artifacts you control to target creature and opponent controls and a station, and 6+ becomes a 4/3 player. So, as a removal spell, this is fine. I actually have plenty of artifact decks where I think it's actually going to be pretty good. Yeah, cool card. Ooh! Oh, Hissing Quagmire. Nice. I was talking about needing more Golgari lands, so thank you, Wizards, for making my Grist mana base playable. Yeah, Hissing Quagmire, we've seen this before. Enters tapped. Taps to add a black or a green, 1 and a Golgari. Until the turn, it becomes a 2/2 black and green elemental creature token with Death Touch. It's still a land. We have... Ooh, what is this artwork? This art treatment. That's some fancy foiling. I don't know if you can see that. This is Weapons Manufacturing. It's 1 and a red enchantment. Whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, create a colorless artifact creature token. Colorless artifact token named Munitions. With when this token leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. I really like Munitions. I don't think there's too many cards that actually make it. I need to have a proper look through the Commander deck, but Munitions is a really funny mechanic. I think it's really cool. It doesn't do anything until you sack it. That's flavorfully quite good. There's some stuff I want to do, like, what's the... Is it Togo that makes rocks? That with this seems quite fun. I know there's an infinite combo with... Is it Yabin Maya? With one of the big green partners. But yeah, this seems fun there. And our last card is an art card. It is Seam Rip by Sean Gui. Don't know which way up it is. Cool. So, that was some spice. Yeah, I think definitely the Exalted Sunborn is the hottest of the new cards, but being honest, this Strip Mine is going immediately into my cube, and I think it's beautiful. Right, and that's where we're going to do it for today. Yes, thank you all very much for watching. Yes, this was some pack openings for Edge of Eternities. Actually, we have the poster. Let's do this properly. For Edge of Eternities. Again, thank you to Wizards for sending us this stuff. So we can open it early and we can share it with you all. It's always greatly appreciated. And also, more importantly, thank you all for being here. Again, we're back. I really miss making content. I just need to find the right balance. There's definitely a thing of doing the same video types again and again definitely caused me to burn out a little bit. But I've got some cool things in the pipe work. I want to do some things with some people as well. We'll get more people on the channel, do some cool stuff. Watch this space. We have a lot of cool stuff coming. That's going to do it for today. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know how your pre-release goes. Good luck, everyone out there. I hope your pulls are also awesome. May you all open the shininess. That's actually not shiny. You know what I mean. The shininess. And yeah, really good to see you again. Thank you all for chatting. Much love. And yeah, we will see you all very soon. You all take care. Goodbye.